podcast is a member of WildGamesProductions.com and D20Radio.com.
They came from the game table, dice bags in hand,
We have one brain that we share between us.
to talk about role-playing for all across the land.
And you'll like it.
The original, then basic, then one they scoured.
Kinda grabs you by the boo-boo, don't it?
To bring AD&D to the second power.
You want me to put the hammer down?
Welcome to THACO's Hammer, the best damn AD&D second edition podcast ever.
Just don't get frustrated and throw your dice in the fire because they're not working.
That's right. Well, some people I know probably would. Hiya, folks. DM Glen here. And it's THACO's Hammer number 117. A special number 117. Don't you like that, boys and girls? And I am DM Glen, and that giggling is DM Brian.
Hey, folks, what's going on out there?
And we also have DM Full-On Gamer with us,
Greetings, Gamer Nation.
pulling sand out of his boots. Direct from Baghdad via satellite, it's Elvis. It's Full-On Gamer.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you very much. Yeah.
You read my mind.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Something like that. No. It's like this.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's get on to hits and crits.
Well, one thought he was invincible, the other thought he could fly. So? They were both wrong.
Son of a bitch is dug in like an Alabama tick.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
We're sending somebody in to negotiate. Anybody else want to negotiate?
Hits and crits.
Hits and crits.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there in France.
This pleases me. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, what you been doing, Brian?
Oh, not a whole lot.
Oh, in case you haven't figured it out, folks, no Corey this week.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a reason for that. I'm not going to go into it. Otherwise, I'm going to start ranting. Anyway, let's see what I've been up to. I haven't been doing too much as far as gaming goes. I've been working on some things here and there. And I've also I actually beat Clickpocalypse 2, which is the D&D game I've been fascinated with for like the last 3 weeks to a month.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a simple little game, and it's actually kind of fun because while you're away from the website, you can actually select the game to continue playing in your absence,
Right.
which actually helps because you get experience points and gold and other stuff, and it actually continues the game along as you're going. Let's see. I haven't been playing anything online too much. I've gotten into World of Warships, actually.
What is that?
That's basically naval battles. You have full control of whatever ship you have. You have they have 10 tiers. The first tier is like World War I stuff, and the 10th tier is like it's like post World War II stuff.
Oh,
And,
okay.
yeah, it's actually kind of fun. You got cruisers, destroyers, battleships. It's fun to play. So I've been messing around with that, having some fun with it. But that's
Right.
pretty much been it.
Okay, cool. How about you, Full-On?
Absolutely nothing of significance. I've had to relocate to a new job down here in Baghdad, and it's a new shift, so I am grueling along on many days of work and lots of PT.
Oh, damn, no Tor.
I've updated, I'm ready to play, and I've cleaned out my mailboxes, so I'm not leaving it entirely alone.
The servers miss you, Full-On.
More like
They're sending you love letters. We miss you. Where have you been? You have umpteen characters to play.
No kidding.
Yes, I do.
Yes. Did you ever I know your wife plays Tor?
Yes.
Michael? Yes.
So does my son.
Yes. Do you ever get on while you're in Baghdad? Have you ever been on with them from the States when they're playing?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Cool. Well, that's one way to stay in touch.
The family who
That's
games together stays together.
Yes, the bonding plan. Ish.
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 Cool.
So, I mean,
well, let's see. We had one last try. Let's see. We had one. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah,
What?
Glenn, what have you been doing?
Oh. Anyway, yeah, we had one last try to have a game Saturday, and nobody showed up except me and the DM.
Really?
Yeah, I knew a few people. See, what happened was our regular place is not going to be available until like maybe early February.
Why?
Because the guy we play in his house at, and he's got things. He's going to be out of town. He's getting married. He's going to his honeymoon. He's going to Muskogee to the castle. He's doing this and that and the other thing. And so I offered my house. So twice now we've tried to have a game here, and everybody bailed.
That's not cool.
I knew. First of all, I knew he wasn't coming because he was going to be in Muskogee. The second, one other guy said he put a pair of he put a picture on our group page of OSU tickets, and he said, "Sorry, can't make it." I bet he wishes he would have made it now.
Wow.
I actually watched OSU get trounced by Baylor yesterday. And it's like, yeah, okay, don't you wish you were here now? Oh, cool. And other guys, and finally the last guy said, "Oh, a friend came over. I can't come."
Yeah, okay.
I don't want to say dick move, but it's not. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's alien. No, I'm not saying it's a dick move, but it's a dick move. But
kind of, sorta.
Yeah, so we just hung around and talked for about an hour, and he went home because it's like him and I were the only ones. We're the two leaders of the group, and we just feel like this group is falling apart at the seams because once like Matt and a couple other people left, it was like I get the feeling they're just blowing this off.
Right.
Pretty much. So I don't even know if I'm going to have a group come the first of the year. So we'll see what happens. And my DM, he drives all the way from Yukon, which is about 45 minutes from here.
Well, you know what? That might actually be an excuse because I bet if you put your feelers out onto Facebook, I bet you there'd be several people who'd be interested in doing an online game. And I know how Glenn, I know how you feel about online games, but
I don't feel bad about online games.
Okay.
I just don't, I don't like play by post, play by email, all that kind of stuff.
Well, I don't either.
I mean, that's not gaming.
Yeah, I meant like doing Roll20 and doing stuff like that.
I can do that. We've just had a lot of bad luck with stuff like that.
Really?
It's, as you know.
Well, not really. Hey,
Hammer.
Yeah, we got through Hammers of the Duchy okay. I mean,
yeah, we got through that, but ever since then, something I don't know. But no. If somebody's offering a game to run, and if I have time, sure, I'll do it. I mean, what else am I going to do over the holidays? But I love face-to-face games, but there's the Monday game I can join, but I don't know if I want to do that now.
Right.
I don't know where my gaming is going to be after the first year. Plus, I got Deluxe Tunnels and Trolls here, and my Castle and Crusades and stuff. I feel like I'm being torn in 5 different directions on gaming.
That's only because you're letting yourself, Glenn. Prioritize, my man.
Well, one of the guys I'm on shift with here does have a booklet printout of the PDF for the basic Dungeons and Dragons handout thingy that they made. I'm assuming that's a 5e flavor, not the 4e flavor, because we don't discuss that.
Most likely.
He's been wanting to get a group together, but he just hasn't had gamers around. Well, I brought dice, so he's covered.
Yeah. Even if it is just, even if it is a solo game, hey, it's gaming. What the hell?
That's true. Hey, tell him to get a PDF of Tunnels and Trolls. That's made for solo gaming. Get a couple of solos and go to town.
Yeah, there's an idea.
Yeah. Other than that, let's see. One of my friends, Chris, who is a gamer here, but I never gamed with because, stars have not aligned or something. He's busy. I'm busy. He just sold me some Mutant Epoch books. So I'm going to be looking into that. The Mutant Epoch, you ever heard that?
No, I've never heard of it.
It's another post-apoc
Well,
game, and it's very, very, very popular. I'm trying to cut through it, but I don't know. I opened it and I immediately got this Palladium vibe off of it.
what's wrong? Well, come on. Like, there's something wrong with Palladium?
Oh, I think so. Well, it's not right for me. Let me put it that way. I have this thing against. I like simple games, and I understand the modular nature of games, and I can live with that. I mean, hell, I play 2E. But I don't like games that have systems within systems.
Right.
That drives me crazy. Everybody does this system, except if you're playing a mage. Then you use this system to do this or that. It's like Psionics in original D&D, which was to me was a system within a system.
Yes, it was.
Or Cyberpunk or Shadowrun net running.
Yeah,
rules.
yeah. When you're net running, when you're decking, it's true. It's absolutely true. And then,
all of a sudden, you got to put this aside and deal with this.
Yeah, and that was the problem with playing a game like Shadowrun. Is once the decker started getting into the Matrix, all of a sudden everybody else is sitting around with their thumbs up their backsides, waiting for that to be resolved.
So I'm still going to give it. I'm still going to give it a good shot, but because it is nice and crunchy. So
hey, nothing wrong with crunch.
Well, yeah,
as long as you got the teeth to handle it.
I got the dangers to handle it, sure.
What's
and
that
anything else I could probably just steal from my Mutant Future game.
There you go.
Well, I was saying that in systems like that, if you're dealing with stuff like what's going on in, the site, if you're going to the level of stuff to what's happened in Shadowrun and Cyberpunk, and the Psionics, totally injecting an entire system of a system. But even regular D&D still had systems and systems like that when you're talking about the spell list and spell casting versus regular combat. So it doesn't really matter. It just depends on how deep down the rabbit hole you have to go for this particular add-on.
Yeah.
See,
and
my problem with Palladium.
Yeah.
For one, I think Champions spoiled me. But when I saw Heroes Unlimited, it's like every different kind of hero has a different build.
No, it's true. I remember.
You roll on it's like, why?
Well,
that wasn't different systems. That was just a different path to get your build, to figure out what the heck you were, whether you were, a martial artist or whether you were a superpowered or whether you were a tech person or whatever. But the basics of it all turned into D20 for combat, percentile for skill, go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's getting there is half the battle. Creating characters in Palladium systems is an adventure in and of itself. Leveling
that I agree with.
was always the struggle, but in game play, not a problem.
It's funny that I find another thing I find wrong with that bothers me with Palladium is they get abbreviation happy. Which is funny coming from someone who plays champions, PDED constraint, but I can dope them out. Over on Palladium, it's like they're like three words and they go A4A. It's like SDB or an SDC or an SD. It's
true.
Like, this is not coming natural to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But at the same time, when you think about it, we've been dealing with acronyms what is it? Oh, geez, I just lost.
They got to be more intuitive.
Oh, I agree.
I
agree, but we've been dealing with this since early '80s with D&D.
I'm just saying they went overboard with it. I think.
I can agree to disagree, but yeah, I mean, I get you. I know I see where you're coming from. I just don't think it's that bad.
Okay.
It might be just a matter of perspective, that's all.
Okay. Well, I have my soapbox ran, so let's do some emails.
Okay. We got a pair of emails from DM Freddy. I'll start with the first one.
Go, Fred, go.
It's a simple question, but the answer may not be so simple.
Brainstorm.
Okay, he asks, do you fudge? If so, when and why? And if not, why not? I fudge both pro player and anti-player. The most common fudge is probably with morale checks. No, I don't think so, but that's just me. I'll get into it. And it's usually to force the monsters to flee. Okay, Freddy. The only time I've really ever fudged, and I try not to do it a lot, but the only time I ever really fudge dice is when I know a certain attack on a certain PC is going to kill said PC. I mean, I don't call myself a pushover. I don't think of myself as a pushover DM, but let's put it this way: I'd rather want to keep the story going, and if that means is if the attack that I roll does 8 points of damage, leaves him with 1 hit point, as opposed to rolling 9 points and killing him or knocking him out, then I'm going to do that. But aside from that, it's like, most of the time, unless someone's being a bit of a penis, in game or out of game, you know, I'm like, it's like you said a long time ago, Glenn, when we were talking about DM versus players. You told me that someone said, I'm rooting for you guys, although I'm neutral. That's sort of the DM's tack.
That was my champion's GM. He says, I'm supposed to be neutral, but I really am rooting for you guys.
Right. Yeah, it's just that, with fudging, you're kind of skewing the dice rolls to make sure that the PCs at least survive, if not succeed. But, that's just one of those things that I do every once in a while, but
I love me some fudge, with or without the nuts at the table.
Exactly. So, some Mackinac fudge ice cream. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right. What about you guys? I've spoken enough.
Watch it. I'm going to start talking about the Hershey Highway.
Hey. Easy.
Hey. Well, I'll tell you, I love me some fudge, and I will fudge for the players. Mm-hmm. Not so much for the monsters.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll fudge for the players because, and I totally lost my point.
Usually the excuse at this point turns into keeping the adventure going versus having to make new characters.
Thank you. Full on. My my take on it is, I think of it like one of my favorite cartoons when I was growing up, besides Looney Tunes, was Popeye.
Mm-hmm.
Because he embodied my viewpoint.
Okay.
Nice guy. Real nice people, but don't push him too hard.
Don't screw with him.
Don't mess with him too much. And even then, he's got a long fuse. Mm-hmm. But still, I found out that death is cheap.
Okay.
When they're dead, they're dead. I always said, just like Popeye, I don't want to kill him, but I sure want to beat the hell out of him.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather beat the hell out of characters than kill them.
Right.
Or kidnap them, or knock them out. Mm-hmm. Or it's because other things can happen, while they're out. Or while they're tied up or something like that. And, and then they, all sorts of things can happen.
Right.
I mean, you kill a character, he's dead. Get another character. He's dead. There's no fun in that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well.
Yes, there can be.
Not that it doesn't happen, that I haven't had it happen. But, I'm not going to go out of my way to kill characters, and I will fudge them if they need a break. And, I'll give them not a Pyrrhic victory, but I mean a victory at great cost.
Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with that.
You have 1 hit point left, but there's no more monster.
Right.
So.
Yeah, you're beat to hell. But you've won by the very skin of your teeth.
Right.
Okay, what do you do now? Exactly.
Those are the battles worth fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Start finding ways to res the rest of the party.
Yeah.
For myself,
while you limp around, yeah.
Your Honor, I'll take the 5th.
That's yes, full on.
No, it isn't, because here's the deal.
Okay.
I am much more of a let the dice fall where they may, and if I need to fudge, I won't fudge dice rolls. I'll fudge story arcs and results, if at all possible.
Oh, yeah, that too.
I will absolutely, if the events turn that way, and especially if someone look at it this way, there's a DM screen for a reason. Mm-hmm. It may or may not be used for that reason, hypothetically, if you want to talk about that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But if you call me out and say roll the dice in the open, the dice will fall where they may. Eat it.
Well, who's going to be that's stupid true. To do that?
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
that's a good idea. That's a good idea. If the player says no, roll it out in front and says your funeral, boom.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons when we did Hammers of the Duchy. That's one of the reasons why I made my DM rolls privately. That's the only reason why I did it. It's basically an electronic version of rolling them behind a screen. And of course, I found out later Roll20's got this one command called DM roll, where you enter that command and it will only show up to you, the DM. No one else will see it. So, but yeah, I mean, I mean, I've never understood that. I mean, yeah, there are some guys who are that gung-ho and that hardcore about it that's like, yeah, man, roll them out there. I want to see if my character dies or gets maimed. And it's like, dude, you got some problems that extend way beyond this gaming table if you're that hardcore about it. You know?
Yes, I do, and I still enjoy it.
Well,
But
yeah, no, you even as hardcore as you are, full on, you're not that hardcore. Not that hardcore.
I want to see if I live and die.
Depends on what table you catch me on. Depends on what table you catch me on.
I mean,
Plus, you know, I really don't mind either way, and I will. It's not that I will do anything for or deliberately against the players. I've never really been a rocks fall, everybody dies DM, because that's what I consider a killer DM. But I am not going to give people script immunity. I am not going to protect them from their own stupidity.
Correct.
And if that involves a party wipe or a all but one party wipe because of that's how the thing happened, how the thing happened.
Right.
You know, and I have run, for example, Night Below many times. I've had one consistent party that made a significant set of progress through the adventure steadily. I've had another group that had problems and rolled the entire party roster of participants over in total 4 times.
Jeez. You had 3
Not all at
TPKs,
once.
or is it 4?
No, not all at once.
Oh, okay.
They only TPK'd the party once. And even then, it wasn't really a TPK because the dwarf got away because he was smart and ran.
Right.
But every other time, it was just either multiples or mini multiples or just a consistent regular rotation of, and someone died.
Right.
It was like playing Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it sounds like it for sure.
But people enjoyed it. It wasn't something that drove people away from the table. They actually got more invested in getting back into the fight. And I'm not talking about, you know, the treacherous trio and the +1 going all hackmaster on them with Lotus the 18th with all the documents pulling all their possessions over to the next one. I don't do that either.
No. I think that harkens way back to my power gaming days, and I don't allow that either. It's like, no, my games are not that beer and pretzels, crap and giggles type of games where I'm going to just roll with that. No. There's some continuity in my games, and not the kind you're thinking of.
I'm making a fight.
Little to no fudge in my games. No nuts. Not sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian, for your next game, I'm rolling up a fighter called the Death Eater.
Okay. You will get your wish.
What?
You will get your wish, son.
Well, it's going to be. He's just going to be this average nerdy looking fighter. Why do you call it the Death Eater? Because he eats carrion on the road. What did you think it was?
Make those con checks, please. Well, I was thinking about it. There was one particular fight in Hammers of the Duchy where let me get back. Glenn, you decided to go in the midst of a bunch of nasty berserkers who were all berserk. And you almost got killed, and Full On almost got killed trying to save your butt.
Yeah, I was pretty mad at that point.
Yeah, I'm like, why is this going on? Why is this happening? Why is he doing this? But I'm like, okay, if this is how you want to do it.
It was a point of, well, if I die, I die.
Yeah, and I'm like, am I running the game that bad that you feel that way? That's what I was thinking at one point.
You thought it was a comment on you?
Yes. I didn't know it was actually in character. I thought you were just frustrated with the game, and you were kind of trying to...
Well, let me tell you, he's got a long fuse.
Mm-hmm.
But it does burn down.
Okay, fair enough.
And that was the point where enough is enough. You know, we're going to get through this, and if I have to die to kill these bastards, I will.
Well, you almost did. I think you got down to like 5 hit points, I'm not mistaken, from like over 30.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I wanted some battle with meat on its bones, and there they were.
Yeah, there they were. Oh, you got what you asked for.
I was pissed off about something I was like, and it's like, I'm really pissed, and they're in front of me. So,
Okay. Yeah. Full-on goes in there with his lightly armored swashbuckler and almost gets killed himself.
drag me out. Yeah.
You
Sorry, full on. I didn't mean that.
hey,
No,
everybody survived.
I knew what I was getting into.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's the lawful good swashbuckler, which means he's going to jump full force into a hornet's nest to try to pull a comrade out.
Right.
I mean, especially considering you two are like the Laurel and Hardy of the group. Another fine mess you've gotten us into.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Fred.
Yeah, and that goes in the archive. And here's the second email.
From Fred.
Yes, from Fred. He says,
Okay.
In my game, both humans and demi-humans can multi-class and dual-class. I don't use level limits. I also have relaxed a lot of the race and class restrictions. So why play a human? +2 to any one stat up to racial max, being 18, of course. Free non-weapon proficiency. Star Wars much? So far in the campaign, 16 out of 17 PCs have been humans. Yeah, when you give them those kind of bonuses, of course they're going to take them. And also using 46 drop lowest range to taste, it all but guarantees an 18.
That's me.
That generation, yeah.
Not guarantees, but okay.
Well, I've told the story about myself and Allie a bunch of times, but the character generation method was 4d6 arranged to taste, and I had 3 18s, 2 17s, and 1 16 or something like that. I can't remember exactly.
To be fair, I often run I'll call it a heroic tone game, so my preferred advised stat generation for the parties that I run for is 46 reroll 1s and 2s.
Yep.
Arranged to taste.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think I've done that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it tends to you will get at least a couple of 17s out of it.
Now, if you're doing that for the stats and tunnels and trolls, you're going to get some really interesting results.
I'll believe it.
Now, I had one guy pull from that.
Yeah.
Single-digit stats with a 13 high.
Wow.
Whoa.
Jeez.
It's possible.
Oh, yeah, it is. Unlikely,
and
but
he
possible.
played with it, so it worked.
Yeah, I guess it did. But wow.
TNT allowed drop lowest, but triples add and roll over.
Wow.
So he gets some really high stats.
Yeah, that could be some. Yeah. But I mean,
anyway. So what was the question?
No, that he was just making a statement about human-centric games. We were talking about it. I don't know when. I think he was responding
we were.
to it. But I mean, if you're gonna give humans that much juice, I can kind of see how, his players would take human race PCs 16 out of 17 times.
Right.
And plus a free non-weapon proficiency on top of it. Yeah, I could certainly see that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Well, it's not any worse than that they started rolling with Star Wars, where it was the, unlimited advancement, and the free non-weapon proficiency and the free feat. Mm-hmm. It's doable, but it's not overpowering. The stat bonus is a bit much.
Yeah, a +2 is a bit much. Yeah.
I might split that. Maybe if you were keeping it.
D&D stat abuse since 1978.
It's 74. What you talking?
74. Sorry. I almost said 81. I said no. That's when I started. Wait a minute.
But
unbelievable. But thank you, Fred.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Easy. Steady.
Heart. I got a heart on. A hard. Heart. Anyway. Go on. What's the next?
Okay, and finally we have an email from Chantel Jones who's trying to make a run at Freddy's position now. Because...
This is Fred Chantel Jones.
No.
Okay, Chantel, go.
Yeah. He says, "Hi Chantel. Hi guys. I was just listening to show 74, and someone emailed about level draining monsters, and someone in the show said you don't put level 1 party members against an ogre magi." He says, I do. That being said, he is sleeping, and as long as someone doesn't knock on the door like one of my players did, he should stay asleep, and they could sneak through the room.
We're home.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
closed.
Yeah,
I
can see
know
that.
of 0 parties that would do that.
Yeah.
They would all, to a man, woman, and paladin, well, maybe not the paladin, say, and we slit his throat in his sleep.
Yeah. No, it's just blanket party right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Jeez.
That's easy. Remember I told you that one where we ran a bunch of orcs in a room? Same thing with him. If he's sleeping, it's like, okay, web, fireball, close the door.
Don't even need to use the fireball, really. Let's see. Now on to something that might matter. I have a game on Roll20 in the group that I have. Some of them like to, some of them like to draw little piles of poop on the maps. Yeah. I don't know anything about that. Let's see.
None at all.
Yeah. I don't let it bug me because it really doesn't ruin the game. The problem is if I'm getting a new player and they don't know my guy, so when they start drawing poops on the map, the new guy freaks out and calls somebody.
That?
So yeah, exactly. Call someone a dick and leave. What do you guys when you bring in new players?
And so he hasn't designed a poop golem for just that. That
might as well
situation.
Well, as much as I want to say it, it's like, look. I don't. The funny part is, the thing is that 99 times out of 100 in Hammers of the Duchy, no one could see it unless I brought it to their attention, and I just couldn't not say anything. Between the three of you, with your various artistic endeavors, on the map, and I'm just like, oh.
That's what my tip is. The guy needs to get a better caliber of artist among his gamers so that they're not just drawing crap.
Yeah, draw
that they're
dead
actually
bodies
contributing
if you want
to the story.
Exactly.
Then it's the embellishments that contribute to the map.
Yeah. Got like those little signs like Dead Ogre Storage on.
Yeah, exactly. Dead Ogre
Free
Storage.
beer.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, but it's one of those things where I will just shake my head, sigh, and just move along. But if you got guys drawing piles of poop, it's like, who are you playing with? I mean, if you guys still in like 4th grade or something? What the hell?
Gotta have a better class of gag.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's something that's actually funny and not just like, hey, dude, look what I drew. It's a pile of crap. Yeah, okay.
You drew poop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah. But anyway,
We
into the
digress.
archive that goes.
Thank
you, Santel.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you, Fred Salad, Egg Salad. No, Fred Chantel.
Ham
yeah,
salad.
Thank you, Chantel. Oh, thank you, listener. How about that?
Augie bin doggy, what?
And you guys could. And you guys could get me frustrated with your names if you send your letters to thacoshammer@gmail.com.
And of course, our phone number. Anyone? Okay, I got it. 405-806-0555.
This is what pauses are for, to get somebody else to do them.
Well, you got to set it up a little better there.
Okay, and now we are going into It's in the Book.
If we go by the book, hours would seem like days.
Oh, buy the book! Buy the book!
By the book?
By the book.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
Don't go by the book. Think like a pirate.
It's in the book.
It's in the book. You didn't know this, folks, but this is kind of a special show. We are devoting it to one thing and one thing only. Mm-hmm. Justin Brown's For Gold and Glory.
Yep.
Which recently came out, and we all got a very beautiful hardback book to look at.
Yes.
And we are going to review it and see if it is the first that we know of 2nd edition clone.
Correct. At least the first one that's actually come to completion. There was another one that someone started, but it never got past a certain stage.
Yes. So this was done this year.
Yes, it was.
Which is 2015, if you're listening.
God knows when this game's coming out, but yeah.
2015. It is out in PDF form. It's free.
Mm-hmm.
You can Lulu it, which I think was what he did, and it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, quality-wise, this is almost, I'd say probably 90% up to snuff with the old old second edition rule books.
Yes, let me run down some credits here. It was created by Justin Brown, edited by Moses Wildermuth, Chris Knowles, and Dan Hyland. The core was proofread by Warren E. Rapier III. Magic and Spells were proofread by Adam Dove. Magical Item and General Cleanup, Dan Hyland. The Bestiary was proofread by Moses Wildermuth and Chris Knowles.
Correct.
Do we have a link for this?
I can certainly find one if you give me a moment.
Okay. We've had this book for like a month now, and we still
and
still know where we get it. Where do we get it?
Yeah, props to Dan Hyland for actually emailing the show and saying, "Hey, give me your addresses for Golden Glory is finished. I would like to send you guys each a copy, and please review it, and 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 thanks for putting for this."
And right now, I'll tell you right now, Dan, Justin, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, on the whole, there's a few problems, but on the whole, it's going to be a good review.
Yeah, we're going to, we'll be fair.
I have the sound of all these people turning off their podcasts now. Okay, it's a good review.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. But we will be fair. We're not going to just be like, oh, blah 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 blah, and focus on the negative and blah blah blah. We will be fair in our judgments.
Okay, enough of the soap.
Enough of
soaping
lubrication.
the rope. Okay.
Okay. Let's see.
Let me start.
Go for it.
Well, first of all, like I said, it's an impressive book, even in PDF form.
I agree.
It's, if you get it the way he did it, it's hardback, like Brian said, on a par with the, I would say the second printing of 2E. It's square bound, and the layout is gorgeous. Let me say the illustrations, he did full color. I was like, my jaw dropped when I opened it. He did full color.
Yes, he did.
And very well organized and laid out. I do have a couple problems with it, but that we'll get in that when we go deeper into the review. And all in all, very well done.
Yes, I'm in total agreement with that.
Okay. What about you, Fullon?
Well built, well organized. There's, I believe that, as he's mentioned before, the art that's in right now is just placeholder art because this is all open source, old art instead of anything specifically licensed. So it's free, but it's all well picked. Yep. So that's your Corey moment.
I might ask an exception to that, but that's later. I'll get to that later.
Right. Yeah. Go ahead.
The book it's a big one. It's about 365 pages. And it's all in one. Yeah. It's a rule cyclopedia.
Right. Yeah. It's Hui Rule Cyclopedia. That's almost exactly right.
Yeah, it's you got the player's handbook, the DM stuff, and the bestiary, the spells, everything's, you can run it from this one book.
Correct. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, if I wanted to run 2E and I didn't have my core books with me, and I have that, I use this.
Yeah, that's pretty much the conclusion I came to. I'm like, as I went through it, I'm like, yeah, I can pretty much run a off the cuff, top of my head, maybe even pull some old adventures in and just run this game like at a convention or something, just out of this one book. And
it is an OGL product, and he even has a little bit of stuff in here about how to contribute to the Golden Glory continuing.
Yes.
Yeah, because there are some things in here that do need to actually be put in like a another supplement to supplement certain things.
Right. But this and Osric are the 1E and 2E clones.
Correct. And it's unfortunate because I remember, I think it was like the summer of 2012, maybe 2013, somewhere in there, where both Dan Hyland and someone else who was doing another 2E clone, they both contacted us. And they wanted us to, talk about the talk about these things, but the problem is that we couldn't get a hold of the stuff.
It wasn't. They hadn't put it out yet.
Correct. I mean, they put out something, but it was in bits and pieces.
It was like a text file and something like that.
Correct.
And I made the ruling. We're not going to review anything until it's out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they want us to look at it and give you our opinions, off the podcast, that's something else.
Right.
Or we'll look at it or help them out or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to review anything until it's published.
Correct. And that was something that the four of us decided, that pretty much agreed upon.
Yeah.
That there was no point in actually reviewing something that hadn't been 100% completed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
I don't like to go off half-cocked about something and say it's bad, and then they redo it and it's wonderful. I think I could always, rescind, but I mean, what's the point in wasting, to give me this published thing and then we'll deal with it there. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Yeah. Agreed.
Anyway. Agreed. Mm-hmm. So what you have here is everything you need to play 2E. In fact, this would be a great third book at the table if you do have your core books, but somebody needs a book to look up something or create a character or something. Just hand them this.
Yeah, exactly.
Here, it's the same thing. Go ahead.
Yep.
Oh, and I want to give props to Justin for designing the logo to look like the 2E logo.
Correct. I think that's
I love that.
Touch. Yeah, that was a big touch.
I may, next year at North Texas RPG Con, along with my THACO's Hammer shirt, I may get a For Golden Glory shirt with that logo on there.
Yeah, for sure. Because, that
just looks so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, aside from maybe my small quibble that it should have been slightly bigger, but that's what kind of immediately takes you back to when you first started playing second edition, for me being 1990. And it's like, when I looked at this, I'm like, wow, I'm impressed. They have the right, aside from getting everything that pretty much needed to be in here, aside from that, it looks the part, it feels right, it reads good, everything is there, and all you need to do is just probably put some little page tabs on it for different sections, and you're good.
Right. And it's not all over the place either. It follows a logical progression.
Yes.
From character creation to
classes,
how the game runs, and combat and things like that. The front page says, "The Adventurer's Compendium, a comprehensive guide to adventuring for golden glory and how to survive long enough to enjoy it."
Correct.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yes, exactly.
Couple of forewords, an introduction, and it just goes into the what is a role-playing game. Word on. They even talk about metagaming. They do have, of course, since it's 2E, there's proficiency and non-proficiency skill. Proficiencies only they call them skills and not combat skills, which I understand why. It's probably, but it's the same thing. All the spells are there. They're organized by priest, wizard, levels, and they have the schools of magic, the bestiary, treasure, how to create treasure, adventure, and it's an easy read.
Yep.
It's an easy read.
Yes,
it really
does.
is.
Yes, it is.
2-column layout with nice clear tables I can read. Probably even I can't read it without my glasses. I tried. Okay.
No, it's the font is actually really good, clear. It is good, really good, easy to read.
See, this is why I kept my first printing of the 2E books. Because second edition, I just had a lot of trouble reading it.
Really?
Because that was the beginning of fancy layout in role-playing games.
Well, yeah, they took it to another level in third edition, but I hear you.
Yeah, they did, but it was hard to read. I don't know why, but I couldn't wrap my head around it. And this goes back to like the first printing where it's like 2-column right here, everything's clearly labeled, the headers and everything, and I just love it.
Yeah, it makes it, everything is very, like you said, easy to read. And when it starts on a certain section, it starts it with the nice bold font, so you know what it is, and and then you just go from there.
The tables for the skills are very well done. very easy to read. I'm sorry, full on. Go ahead.
No, I didn't say anything.
Okay, I thought you did. And of course, we got our old friend THACO, which makes me warm and fuzzy inside.
Mm-hmm.
And the spells, like they didn't change the spells really.
Not very much. They renamed certain named spells.
Yeah.
But
and once again, we have a spiritual hammer, not a spiritual weapon.
That's a minor quibble for me, because that's certainly, if I was redoing 2E, that's one of the things I would change. But that's just me. But yeah.
Anything else we can add before we go into the next section?
No, I think I'm going to include the link into the show description, so when the show posts, you can go to lulu.com. Although you can go there right now and just search on Justin Brown, and it'll take you right to his page. And yeah, it's free and it's there, and of course you can pay for them to bookbind it, and yeah, there it is. No problems.
And okay.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, they really did the deck of many things up right.
Oh, see,
really to follow.
Yeah,
the deck of illusions
and Wanted Wonder.
Yeah.
Wanted Wonder was really brought a smile to my face. But we're getting into we're going far afield. Let's just go to the next segment.
Okay, let's get into Rule 0.
Am I the only one around here who gives a about the rule?
Hey, rules are, there ain't no rules.
Hey! Ladies! That was fun!
Thank you for a very enjoyable day.
Rule 0.
Rule 0, Part 2 of our review of For Golden Glory by Justin Brown.
The pros and cons.
The pros and cons. Copyright September 2015.
Mm-hmm. And we are the first ones on the face of this planet to get them, or some of the first people.
Yeah, now I got to get his butt to North Texas so I can get an autograph.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, downside. Let's do a few downsides now.
Okay. I only have like a couple. I only have one.
What's that?
The one thing I think they missed the bet on, even though they tried to do it in the actual class descriptions, is that they didn't have the master combat table for monsters from less than one hit die all the way up to, 17 plus, although it goes from there, and the THACOs for all of the classes laid out in one chart. That's like the only major quibble I have.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't, because that was one of the things that
they just relied on THACO.
Yeah, that's one of the things as a DM you're kind of consulting the most, unless you know it by heart.
Hence its place on a DM's screen.
Correct.
Or you know how to use THACO. Sorry, the anti-THACO people just burn my butt.
Yeah, you and me both.
So
you and me both. Actually, you can get a hardcover for $22. That's actually pretty good.
A regular 2E hardcover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the regular one. I think.
Yeah, let's promote that over this. Okay, no. Buy this.
Yeah,
or get this rather.
Right.
No.
Yeah, they have two hardcovers.
Watsy can afford to lose a few bucks.
They're not even thinking about second edition, short of what they're putting out on like Drive-Thru RPG these days.
That's true.
Anyway, but I've got some of the pros, and we can just do each one of ours, and we'll do a little discussion on it. First one,
All right, pro.
It's a perfect combination of the DMG and the player's handbook,
and the monster manual.
Correct.
Monsters manual.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's a cyclopedia, a 2E cyclopedia. And
well, you take all that fancy stuff out of there, especially in the monstrous manual, no problem,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is something that, quite honestly, I think TSR should have done right at the actual tail end of second edition going into third. They should have just put out a cyclopedia like they did with the rules cyclopedia.
Well, they didn't do it for 1E, but...
No, they didn't. Well, there are reasons for that, as you know.
Yeah.
Because once... Yeah, never mind. Let's
well, I just look on my shelf. I look at my monster manual for 1E going, that thing is so skinny. They could have put it in one book.
They could have. But the second monster manual didn't come out until like what 3 years later.
Yeah.
It came out in like '85, I think, or
They
'84.
took their time with it,
Yeah.
and of course they were doing it in the every page is full of as much as you can
Right.
fill it. If you go to the next
With
monster,
the
you go to the next. It wasn't like
It's
the
a full color picture of
monsters
everything.
manual.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean that was the next monster. That was the next one where they did
Got it.
Oh, what the
a
Fiend
whole
Folio?
page is a creature,
Yeah.
or 2 pages is the whole entry on the creature,
Mhm.
and that's it. And it's the full entry to include your picture of the invisible stalker. Great, wonderful. Get the joke. But after that, it's still a lot of wasted space or just words for words purposes.
Anyway,
Whereas,
we're not here to bash TSR. We're here to praise this guy.
True.
they both had their value. You could condense a lot more information in a smaller space by sacrificing the art. It works,
Mhm.
It does.
and they do it well in this combination as well. My
Yeah.
only downside is actually a little bit on the physical construction of the book.
Oh, no,
The paperweight.
Oh, paperweight. All right, go ahead.
The paperweight itself seems light,
It
and
is.
there's a bit of bleed through from the back page's ink through to the front that you can see. You can see the printing of the other page behind the page you're reading.
Well, I'm going to lay
And-
that blame on Lulu.
Yeah, I was going to say
Yeah.
it's probably a Lulu thing.
And
But-
it just makes me hesitant to start doing what all DMs do, which is start writing in your
Writing
books.
into it.
You have to be careful what you're going to be writing with, otherwise you're going to be extra bleeding through to the other page.
Mhm.
And there's no
And have-
black and white pictures to color.
That's okay.
Well,
I
there's
can
that
deal
too.
with it. I mean, it's all stock. It's all stock
Style.
art anyway. Yeah.
Okay. Brian, you were saying the good thing is one-stop shopping.
Yes, yeah. Like I said, you can take this to a con. It has just like the old school basic books. They no, not even the basic books. They have a character sheet in the back that you can use, or at least use as a template to create your own. Let's see. Next one that I liked. They sneakily got the complete book of humanoids in this supplement in 2 places.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about the second place until I started going in more in depth on studying this book. The first time I saw it was just I was going through the spells and I saw the reincarnate spell.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually they gave you the chart of the monsters and animals that you could be reincarnated as, and then on the next page they gave the stat limits, the stat breakdowns for that race, and then they gave you the level limits. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I like that.
So if you want to roll up a half orc,
They've actually got it in 3 places then, because if you go to any of the humanoid races in the bestiary, there's a as player characters paragraph for each and every one of them.
Yeah, that was what I was going to get to. Then they put it in there. So they put it in, twice over. And I'm like, wow, that I have to hand it to the guys who created this. That's a major feather in your cap to do that.
Yes. So is that your upsides?
Yeah. Oh, I got more.
I'm sure you do.
Even though these are very easy to go through. They have better defined art objects. That's been a bugaboo for me from when I started playing D&D in 1981 all the way up till I got to Forgotten Realms Adventures, which had better described objects of art.
They leaned heavily on the 1E DMG paragraphs for that element to improve the quality of output.
Correct. And it makes it easy for the DM just to say, okay, this is a bracelet made out of silver, inlaid with rubies, with platinum filigree or whatever, and it's worth this much. That's perfect, because as a player, that's all I ever wanted when it came to getting stuff like that. It's like, what is it? What does it look like? What is it made of? As opposed to just, I have an art object and it's worth this much. Because one of the things that I saw as a DM and as a player is that if the players got stuff like that, just think about the movie Conan the Barbarian after they looted the Temple of Set, where they got all those gems and stuff. And basically they're selling them. Conan gives one to Valeria to wear around her neck and all this other stuff. And that's what players will do. They will take those objects of art or those trinkets and those those kind of things, and they'll keep them as hard cash, or they'll actually start wearing them, as a bit of a flavor for the description flavor for the character. But yeah, I like that. That was cool.
Okay.
Another one that he put in not just one Wand of Wonder, but all 6. That goes back to an article in Dragon Magazine, which made it into Encyclopedia Magica about the Wand of Wonder. And now, if you really wanted to be a wicked DM and you have a player who has a Wand of Wonder, you can roll a d6 as to which one, and then roll percentile dice to see what it does. You want to go random? That's pretty random.
Yep, it is.
Okay, another
What else you got?
Flying monsters have separate speed and maneuverability classes. They didn't go into detail in the actual bestiary, which I think they should have done. But it's one of these where you can fly so fast, but you can really turn on a dime, or you don't fly quite so fast, and you steer like a battleship. I like that. That's something that I would actually incorporate into my game. Let's see. Going back to another one that this was a bugaboo about second edition for me, and to some extent first edition, was that they stopped including the saving throw level equivalent for monsters in their descriptions. Like in basic D&D, like an orc saves as a first level fighter.
It saves as a third level fighter.
Correct. And
I love that.
Yeah, they put that back in here, and that's another big plus.
Now we're in business.
Yeah. And that was one of those things where I was like, why wasn't this included when they started to do this with Monstrous Compendiums? That was half. To me, I knew it.
Decided to do it in first edition.
Correct. I mean, it that was the thing, because 99 times out of 100, most monsters have a saving throw equivalent as a fighter equal to their hit dice. We all know that.
There's exceptions. Some of them go as wizard or rogue or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a displacer beast
by class level.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. A displacer beast saves as an 11th level wizard. And things like that.
Here we go. An owlbear saves as fighter 5. Phase spider saves at fighter 6.
Mm-hmm.
Remorse at fighter 7. You can go on and on and on.
Correct. And that's just a simple little thing that should have been in these descriptions of the monsters in the original things, at least to me. And it's just one of those things. I mean, it's just a small thing, but it helps the DM to say, okay, saves as a 7th level fighter. Okay, I know pretty much what the save is. Okay, it's like a 14 versus spell or whatever it is. So, or 13 or whatever it is. And you just go from there, rather than having to take the extra time to go back into the DMG or the player's handbook and look it up. So, but
here's a question.
Yeah, but those were mostly my pros and cons.
Okay, here's a question. I was just randomly looking in the bestiary.
Uh-huh.
Any guesses to what a tunnel lurk is?
A tunnel lurk?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I gotta look at this.
Subterranean predators, hulking ape-like bodies covered with chitinous black shell.
That's an Umber Hulk.
Okay, thank you. It's like that name screams we had to change it because of copyright.
Yeah, I think so. There were several that, they absolutely had to change.
I just happened to see that. Anyway, hey, full on, what's your pros and cons on this?
I gave mine.
You did?
Yes.
Oh.
I interrupted earlier.
Okay.
Boy,
I will draw in my books, so I am concerned about the paperweight and the fact that you can see one whole page, you can see the print from the back page, but that's more, again, a Lulu issue.
Right.
Yeah. The rest of it's
okay.
Nice. I deal with it. It's nice.
Aside from
go ahead.
wanting to be like Dyson and finding old 1E books and drawing in them, I don't like to draw in my books, but it also goes down to stuff like highlighting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The bleed-through highlighter is a bad thing.
Yes.
And you know what, folks? Here's a little gamer tip. Go to your local Mardel's or any other Christian bookstore and get Bible highlighters. Those things do not bleed through because Bibles are printed on even thinner paper than this.
True.
And they won't bleed through.
Interesting.
So that's a good gamer tip right there because they won't bleed through your books. I went to Bible highlighters. They're great.
Mm-hmm. No, that's cool. That's actually a really good suggestion.
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
There's one more that I've noticed. They actually took a couple of seconds and put in under hit dice. They gave the average hit point total for whatever monster it is.
I'm used to that.
Yeah, well, I've only seen that with golems. I've never seen it with anything else.
Yeah, it's all over the place. You look in the 1E, look in the rule cyclopedia. You'll find it in there too.
Mm-hmm. But to me, that actually helps out because that's one of the things that kind of annoys me about writing out monsters in adventures is that you wonder what the actual average is, and then you have to go from there.
Some of us know how to do math. So.
Yeah, I know how to do math full on. It's just
burn.
It's the thing I've always had with published adventures where they say, here's a room with 99 orcs in it and they all have 8 hit points. No, they don't. And I will roll 99 sets of hit dice and have 99 sets of hit points for 99 orcs. And I have a way to organize them well so that it's, random and mixed up a bunch, but I can't stand the law of averages automatic ingestion into everything. It just annoys the crap out of me. I want things to have their unique tone.
No, I'm in total agreement with you on it. One of the things I used to do was basically if I had a number of monsters, let's just say it's 5
chop one head and now he's dead. 98 orcs are against the sorry.
No, it would be like just say like 5 ogres. Now that's 4 plus 4 hit dice. I would roll 1 total for 1 ogre, and then I would just start rolling d4s and subtracting off that total, and then it would just go down from there, just to make it like that. Of course, there have been certain adventures with reason why every monster you run into has maximum hit points, but that doesn't happen all the time. Not unless I'm really being, dickish about it,
or using a different die.
And now that I spoke up about it while I've been going through the bestiary talking about with you guys, I find a THACO chart for it, page 298.
Okay.
But that should be in combat. That shouldn't be there because you wouldn't know right off the bat to look there. But that's just me.
I know, but that's what you're highlighting. Yeah, I
minor
know.
gripe.
What I found funny here is I just turned a page and I saw kobold hit dice
1/2.
A half, 3 hit points. Then human hit dice 1, 4 hit points.
Yep.
We're not much up from kobolds.
No, we're not. When you think about it, that's why you can die from a dagger thrust.
We're kobolds with better armor.
Yeah,
pretty
a little
much.
bit better intelligence. Yes, it's true.
Anyway, let me give the pluses and minuses. Like I said, it's a gorgeous book. It's a gorgeous book. It's got everything you need to run this game in it. It's got a great table of contents and a really thorough index, which is invaluable for books like this.
Yeah, for sure.
You got all your core monsters in here you can do. Any chart you can think of that you needed. Of course, they change a few spell names, but they're there, and I didn't look, but I can pretty much guess that there's a beholder in here somewhere under the name.
Wait a minute. I'm going back and looking, but I'm pretty certain there was.
That wasn't a challenge, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'm doing it just for the hell of it.
Keep
going.
You can use this for it'd be great for coming up with magical treasure and stuff. They give you a lot of good ideas, but it's got a treasure tables in here too.
Yeah, and they're actually better to find, believe it or not.
Okay,
at least to me they are.
Now layout is good. Like I said, 2-column layout with a nice readable font. All the information is where it's supposed to be. Every spell is they don't go on and on and on about spells, but you get. This is it. This is how it works. This is the exceptions. Go.
Yep.
They got the charts for the different schools of magic and different spheres for priests. And it's like I said, pretty much run it out of the book.
Yep, you can do it. It's not difficult, and it's just like with most Creative Commons OSL license, excuse me, stuff. It is close enough. Yeah, OGL. Thank you. It is close enough to the actual original copyrighted material that there's very little. How should I put it? Little familiarity time, if you know what I mean.
I noticed that the methods of rolling stats is, I didn't notice this one, the New Age one.
Mm-hmm.
Roll 4d4 plus 2 6 times and assign as the player chooses.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we're gonna get all touchy feely now and roll.
now.
Okay. One of the few downsides on here.
Okay.
I wasn't going to really get into the. I mean, I know Corey, and I know Corey. You know, this is full disclosure. I know Corey did artwork for this that he did not use.
Yeah, they didn't use for this, and that's unfortunate.
Public domain artwork, and you know, I can, you know, I kind of understand. I mean, he got paid for it, right?
I don't know if he did or not. I'd have to go back and listen to the rough drafts of a couple of times we talked about it.
But
there it is. I found it.
What?
Gazer.
A gazer. Thank you.
Yeah. I knew it was in here.
That's one time I'll write in the book. I'll put beholder in parentheses.
Yeah, just mark it out and put beholder.
Or put a dot in the index or something. That's a beholder.
Yep.
But like I said, I can understand what they did. The way he did the artwork, you know, I have no problem. You know, the problem I have with the artwork is the choice of artwork. There's a few of them that scream, you know, medieval fantasy D&D. Great,
yeah,
absolutely.
There are some, yes.
Like the picture on page 6 with the 3 warriors. That's D&D.
Yeah, the picture on page 310 with the skeleton of the dragon still coiled around its hoard.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like when they described the ogre picture was good. And it's got things like here's some ruins and things. But then they put stuff in here like the
stuff that should be in the Louvre.
Yeah, the frontispiece. Like the frontispiece it has here with the if I can get there. You know, right in front of the table of contents. It's got this woman. This woman. It looks like something out of Chaucer. Woman with the guy. It could be D&D. Okay, you know, I'll give you that much. But then they got somebody who looks like this naked guy on a rock. I can't remember the name of the myth. It looks like one of those Greek myths about the guy.
Right.
Where the you know, gets attacked by the raven and pulls out and every, you know.
Yeah, it's more of
that guy. I can't remember his name. Damn. Page 9, you got this maiden here that looks like something out of a illuminated manuscript. I just wish he would have been a little. Well, but once again, I got to give him the props for doing it. And also, I understand maybe he didn't have as much choice in public domain art as he wanted.
Correct.
But at the same time, he could have picked a couple of, you know, the picture for elves. Just
I'm not
woman with the crown.
Yeah, I know it doesn't. You know, the one for the gnomes is pretty good. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I look at her and I keep waiting for Columbus to show up and ask if they can finance the trip to the New World.
Exactly. You know, the one for halflings is pretty much the same way. Half elves is kind of funny to me.
Yeah. Humans, we got a Moor. How interesting.
Hey, they're black people in D&D too.
I know.
Don't you try to disclude us.
I mean a full-blown Othello Moor.
Yes,
wow.
I know. It's kind of funny that way. I agree. Yeah. You know. I agree
that you got the maidens under the moonlight. Anyway, you know, a lot of us can pass as D&D and stuff, but even the cover, it's like, okay, am I playing in like Da Vinci's time?
Yeah, that's exactly the feeling I get with the art, and and
once again, it's a minor quibble.
Yeah, I don't think it's that. I think it's an average.
Stop
quibble.
You from getting this book.
Yeah, no, it should.
Whether you buy a physical copy or get it free, get it.
Yeah, get it for sure. Because, like we said, you can take this to a con and run a game straight out of a book. No muss, no fuss.
And my other quibble is, I noticed he did sneak in the half orc.
Yes, he did.
And the no, it's just the half orc, right? They left out of races.
No, they have almost all the humanoid races as player character classes.
Right, but what I'm saying is, with 1E, it was like they took out the half orc. I remember that.
Yes, they did. Yeah,
but I wish they would have went. The only thing I kind of wish they would have went one step further and got a hold of like the Scarlet Brotherhood and put assassins and monks back in.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
That would have been really nice. I mean, that's the 1E in me talking, but
yeah, well,
I recently discovered that monks are cool. What can I say?
Well, yeah, monks are cool. Speaking as a man who redesigned the class for his own purposes, yeah, they are. But I can understand why they didn't.
Yeah, he was pretty much trying to do it by the numbers.
Yeah, trying to be
getting his little shots in, like putting the other races in there, which I like. That nice and devious. We love devious here at THACO's Hammer.
Right. Right. And,
anyway, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, yeah. It's just, to me, it just seems like they did a really good job of combining, like we said, DMG Player's Handbook, Monstrous Manual, with a little bit of complete humanoids thrown in for flavor and a couple other things. And
something else I would do if I had an extra copy of this, and I don't like loaning out my books. I really don't, because I'm not one of those guys who have like umpteen copies of like the Player's Handbook or something.
Yeah,
I'm not that big a DM.
Right.
But if I had another copy of this book, if somebody wanted to know how to play D&D and 2E, I'd hand them this book, says read through it, because it's an easy read.
Yeah, easy. Yeah,
and it's a lot easier to read than like second printing or something like that.
Right. No, I'm in complete agreement. And this is, like I said, this is just something that if you don't want to lug around a whole bunch of stuff, you're going, doing like a beer and pretzels game, and you just don't want to lug around. Yeah,
please. With the art in this one, it's never a beer and pretzels game. It's a wine and cheese event.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true. Yeah, I'm looking at one of the pieces of art on page 364.
It's mead and bread.
Yes, and Brie cheese. Yes.
Brie, yes. Where's the caviar? We're playing D&D.
Exactly. We're playing for gold and glory.
Where's the caviar? Anyway,
get the Chateau Marmont out of the cellar, please.
Wait, did we come up with a link for this?
Yeah, I'm going to put it in the show description. Basically, all you got to do is go to lulu.com, type in Justin Brown or For Gold and Glory in the search box, and it'll take you right there.
Or if you just go to Google and type in Gold and Glory for Gold.
Yeah, for Gold and Glory. Yeah, you got to scroll down a few entries.
I learned when you do stuff like that, you type in like the title and then put RPG at the end of it.
No, it's true, but yeah, there are a couple of different descriptions for it, but yeah, it's in there. It's on the first page of the Google search.
Like that's true. Or something. Yeah,
doesn't matter. Ask Ted too. You're just 2 clicks away.
Okay. But anyway, that's pretty much. Hey guys, get this book. Tell us about it.
Yeah.
THACO'sHammer@gmail.com. Please.
Yeah.
Please. And once again, thank you, Justin Brown and the team, for sending those to us.
Yeah, especially big shout out to Dan Hyland for getting a hold of us and sending us a copy.
Yes. Thank you very much. And I guess that's it for this Splat book.
Yes, indeed.
I'm sorry, but this was a paid commercial announcement. No.
Yeah, right.
I feel like
God only knows I could use a little payola right now. It's true.
Well, I think this book is enough payola for this.
Yeah, that's true.
if they come out with more, we'll be glad to review them. It's nice to have third-party stuff for 2E coming out finally.
Yeah, for sure. And this is a shout out to the creators of this. If you guys want to be on the show and give us a little rundown of what, where, and how, please get a hold of us. We'll have you on, no problem.
Yeah, we do Skype.
Oh, and as an extra little tidbit on the bundle of stuff that we got, you guys got your copies from the printer. I did not.
What?
No. He didn't want to take any chances that the printer wouldn't ship to military bases, so he sent me his proof copy.
Really? Wow.
With a note.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, hold on to that full.
When next we meet at a confluent, I want to see that. Okay.
I would
say
love
it
to
should be the same thing, but anyway.
Wowzer.
Awesome.
Well, anyway, that's the show, folks. So say goodnight, Brian.
Well, until next time, folks. Never mind. I was going to say something snarky about art, but I'm not going to do that.
Or Golden Glory.
Yes. Yeah.
Say goodbye, Full-On.
Have a good time, Gamer Nation. And yes, for Golden Glory will do you well if you get your hands on it, and if you want cheap dragons to go with it, go try out the McFarlane dragons, $15 a pop. If you can find them anymore.
I don't think there's any payola in that, Full-On.
It spruces up the game table, trust me.
And I got it for Golden Glory, and now I'm going to Disney World. Anyway, that's me. I'm DM Glenn saying we'll see you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer Book. Bye-bye.
Yep.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
So we're going to play some Golden Warrior music.
Hey, I could probably do it. No problem.
Did you wing it?
Yeah, I could wing it.
Oh, man.
I got modules out. I got my modules out.
THACO's Hammer theme is provided by the Diablo Swing Orchestra. You'll find them on Jamendo.com. All other additional music for this episode was provided by Kevin MacLeod. You'll find more of his music on Incompetech.com. Be sure to visit our website at thacoshammer.info. If you have any questions or comments, email us at thacoshammer@gmail.com. Remember, that's an O, not a 0. You can also find us on the second edition forums at osrgaming.org and at purpleworm.org. Or give us a call and leave us a voicemail at 405-806-0555. See you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer.